Hello, here we have properties and changes tables. So this is going to be kind of a little bit of a review for you. So we're going to be talking about chemical properties, chemical changes, physical changes, and then we're going to go back even to metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. So all of these things are going to be on your test on Tuesday. So here we are going to talk about them. So what we're going to do in this assignment, we're going to read the questions and we're going to look at the tables below and we're going to answer those questions. So question number 1 says, which of the following would be a good title for the table below? So we've got a spot for a title. We have gas release, light release, color change, and precipitate formed. So our answer choices down here are evidence of a chemical change, properties of metals, properties of nonmetals, or evidence of a physical change. So if you look right here, hopefully by this time, all 4 of these things right here are going to be really familiar to you. Hopefully you remember seeing them on Cool Guys Love Their Phones. And if you do remember, awesome. If you don't, I need you to remember that. You're going to need it for the test, okay? So Cool Guys Love Their Phones. That is going to be evidence for a chemical change. So all of these things right here are evidence of a chemical change. So our best answer is going to be evidence of a chemical change would be a good title for this, okay? Number 2, we have the same title, or I'm sorry, the same table that we had in number 1. So we know the name of it is going to be evidence of a chemical change. We found that from Cool Guys Love Their Phones, but now we have one missing and we need to figure out which one that is. So what is missing from the table below? There's our question mark. Our answer choices are fizz, solid to liquid to gas, a change of state of matter, temperature change, or a metalloid. So if we look here, we think Cool Guys Love Their Phones. Let's go down the list. We'll just see what's missing. So cool is for color change. There's one. Guys and gals is gas release. So there's that one. L is for love and light release. And then there, the T, I don't see it anywhere on here. There's the P, the last one, but we're missing the T for temperature change. So temperature change is going to be the answer for question number 2. Let's look at question number 3, and it says, what would be a good title for the table below? We have gas or brittle solid, not malleable, and not ductile. So we're looking for a title that would describe these things. Okay, so our options are properties of a metal, properties of a non-metal, and properties of a metalloid. And if you were to go back in your notes, you would remember we took notes on metals, nonmetals, and metalloids, and we would know that being a gas or brittle solid, being not malleable, we can't bend it without breaking it, and not ductile, can't be hammered out into a thin sheet. These are all properties of a non-metal. So properties of non-metal would be your title for this table. So we use the same title in the question below. What is missing from the table below? So our title up top was the characteristics of a non-metal. So that's what we have right here. Gas or brittle solid, not malleable, not ductile, but there's one missing. So let's see. Is it malleability? Well, right there it says that it's not malleable, so it can't be that. Characteristics of both metals and nonmetals. Well, this is all describing a nonmetal, and do nonmetals have characteristics of both? No, so that can't be it either. Okay, so is a nonmetal an insulator or a conductor? If you said insulator, you are 100% correct. So a nonmetal is going to be an insulator. Insulator is the answer to this question. Next, we have there are 2 things missing from this properties of metals table. What are the 2 things? So properties of metals, looking back at our notes, if you have to go find them, you're more than welcome to. Metals are shiny, they're solid, they're ductile. And let's look at our answer choices right here. We need to fill these 2 spots. So are they not malleable and not ductile? Well, that can't be it, because here we have that they're ductile right here. We know metals are both malleable and ductile. Are metals gas or brittle solids and insulators? No, they're not. Non-metals are gases or brittle solids, and non-metals are insulators. Okay, so are metals found at the zigzag line on the periodic table? No, they're not. The metals take up the majority of the periodic table. Remember, 75% of that periodic table is going to be metals. So they're not found on the zigzag line. And a semiconductor, metalloids are found by that zigzag line. And metalloids are semiconductors, so that's not the answer. What about malleable and conductor? So metals are malleable, and metals are also good conductors of heat and electricity. So malleable and conductor is your answer for this question right here. The next one we have says fill in the blank on the table below. So properties of metalloids. They have properties of both metals and nonmetals. That's exactly right. Metalloids are semiconductors. Perfect. And metalloids are located by the blank on the periodic table. Oh, excuse me. Let's look right here. So, are they located by the purple color on the periodic table? No, they're not located by the purple color. Periodic tables can have any different color combination they want on them. It's not a specific color for any of them, metals, nonmetals, or metalloids. When we colored ours and talked about ours, we did it the same color that's in the book. There's our green, blue, and yellow. But different periodic tables have different colors, so it can't be located by a color, right? What about by the zigzag line on the periodic table? Well, that is one of the characteristics of a metalloid, so that would be a really good answer. What about being located by the atomic number? Well, that can't be it either because all of the elements on the periodic table have an atomic number. What about a straight line? Well, the periodic table is kind of all straight lines going up and down this way and side to side this way. That can't really be it either. So we're going to come back up here to the zigzag line. Hopefully you took the notes. Hopefully you know that metalloids are located by that zigzag line or that stair-step line on the periodic table. Okay. Number 7 says, there's a mistake on this table. What is it? So we have some physical properties here. We've got cut, fold, bend, fizzes, and color. So which of these is not a physical property? Which of these would be more like a chemical property? So if we cut something, it's still a physical property. Nothing changed. All we did was cut it, right? If we had a piece of paper, we cut it, still have paper, okay? If we folded it, same thing. If we folded that piece of paper, it's still paper, just looks a little bit different. Same idea for bending something. If we had a wire and we bent it, it would still be a wire. That's a physical property. What about fizzes? So if we had something and we did something to it and it started fizzing, like putting Alka-Seltzer in water and things started fizzing, is that a physical property? No, that would be a chemical property. So if something's fizzing, that means gas is being released. That's a chemical property, not a physical property, so that might be the mistake on this table. Here we have color. Color is a physical property, so my little post-it note is kind of a yellowy color. It's a physical property. So fizzes is going to be the correct answer because fizzes was the mistake on this table. Okay? Let's go to number 8. There's a mistake on this table. What is the mistake? So here we have properties of metals. Metals are shiny. Metals are solid. Metals are ductile. Whew. Metals are an insulator. Metals are malleable. Wait a minute. Metals are not insulators, are they? Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. So this right here is going to be the mistake on this table. So we would come down and select insulator. Next and last problem, there's a mistake on this table. What is the mistake? Okay, properties of metalloids. They have properties of both metals and nonmetals. Metalloids do, that's correct. Metalloids are conductors. I don't think so. Properties of metalloids, they're located by the zigzag line on the periodic table. That's correct. So, are metalloids conductors? Not necessarily. Metalloids are what we call semiconductors. We took notes on this too, and you should have that down on those notes. Semiconductor kind of means that if your substance, your element is cold, room temperature, it doesn't conduct electricity very well. But if we heated it up a little bit, we increase the temperature, the higher the temperature, the better conductor that metalloid would be. So they're semiconductors, not conductors. So this would be the mistake on this table. Okay, if you have any questions about this assignment, send me an email, put them in the questions channel. Y'all are amazing, and don't forget that the test is on Tuesday next week. Go ahead and rewind this if you want to go back and forth and fix your questions. Make sure you get them all right, okay? Bye, guys.